Hello and welcome to this short Strava privacy settings tutorial. With so many members of the college now using Strava on a daily basis to upload their sporting endeavours, it seems a sensible thing to set things up in the right way so that your privacy is enabled as strongly as it should be. Important to remember that with Strava it is just like any other social media app, only it's for exercise, and what that means is that as a default all of your settings will be open access to anybody, and therefore when you first start using Strava, or if you haven't changed this already, now is a good time to tighten up your privacy settings. So hopefully the next few minutes will help you follow the step-by-step as I set up my own privacy settings to show you how you can do it to make it as tight as possible. To start with, let's go over to the main Strava front page and have a moment just looking at followers and following and what that means. Now, over on this side of the screen, you can see that with my 109 followers, probably 108 of those are connected to Pangbourne College. If we scroll down, you'll see a list of pupils, and really what I've done is I've selected to follow or asked to follow various pupils, and you can see Ali Harris at the top of the list there alphabetically. If I choose not to follow him, and goodness knows that would be a very good reason not to, if I choose not to follow him, I can just click on that tab and it changes to unfollow if I click there. Equally, if I don't want him to follow me anymore, I click on this cog and I can remove him as a follower. If I'm concerned about him, I could block him entirely, and that means he won't see any of my data showing up on the screen. You won't be able to search for me. And then if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can click on the what's blocking question below there. So really, I would just say that anyone under the age of 18, unless you know the person who has requested to follow you on Strava, you really shouldn't be accepting them. Now, one of the key differences with Strava is that the privacy settings by default could enable anybody to find out where you live quite easily. So just be very careful with that. Let's go up to the settings now to see how you can change your privacy settings to tighten them up. If you go to this profile section and then go to settings, it will take you actually to your first profile page, and then move across onto this side to privacy controls. Once that page loads, you'll see how the default is set so that everyone is visible, and if we click on the first one, this is your profile page, click on this and change that to followers. That just means that whilst people may be able to search your name, they won't be able to see your profile or any of your activities or photos or the people that you follow or are followed by. So just choose OK for that one. On the right hand side, you have the activities section. That's everything you do that gets recorded onto Strava. By default, anyone who can search for you can also see all your activities. So again, change that to followers. With the college doing lots of fitness activities, I would suggest you don't change it to only you. If you have that setting, that's really for people who just want to use Strava to record their data and keep a training log. And it won't enable you to access any leaderboards or any of the individual activities that we may be doing as a college. So I recommend you just keep it on followers for now. And as long as you've been careful with who you allow to follow you, that's fine. Group activities, that doesn't really apply because we're not doing any training as groups outside, and that enables you to record activities with other people. So you can leave that one as everyone, because it's only if you record a group activity that would apply. And then flyby, you'll see this is defaulted to everyone. If you're cycling with other people or running with other people, it would enable you to see how a race unfolds and how you may get away from other people at certain stages in the race. So a nice little gimmick, but not one that actually is terribly useful if you're out on your own very much. So again, I would suggest you either leave that one as everyone can see it, or you change it to no one, because that just protects your own actual location a little bit more. Now, if we move down to the privacy zones, this is a particularly useful one, especially if you've got an expensive bike and you don't want anyone to steal it. You can put in your postcode. So if I put in the college postcode here and select the 1,000 metre radius, what it does is it creates a buffer around your start and finish points. And whenever you log a ride, we'll be able to see this just in a moment. It creates quite a large zoomed out area here. So for 1,000 metre radius around wherever you start and finish, it will protect that piece of information. So nobody who can see your activities will be able to see where you started and indeed ended. You can change that. You can make it more or less of a tight zone. We'll just see what happens there. If you change it to just a 200 metre zone, that's the smallest one, you'll see how that impacts on the map a little bit lower. So it makes it a much tighter circle. For most people, 200 metres is actually fine. If you live within that sort of distance of a few other houses, that will provide some level of privacy. But you can change that accordingly. And then the last couple here, the metro and heat map, that really just provides usage data for Strava to share with other people, other companies, to look at how, for example, urban planners may see how many cyclists are using particular roads. So there's no direct privacy issue, as far as I can tell, with the metro and the heat map app function. So you could leave that one because it may mean ultimately that road planners put some more effort into the road that you're cycling along, because it's being used by lots of other people. You can change your past activities. You can delete them so that people can't see them, but you can. You can also avoid sending a notification to people who follow you when you've done any activity. Again, you can just tick that box there, and that will restrict what is visible to people as a feed. It won't limit the amount of information that goes on your actual activity profile. It just stops other people getting an instant message when you've done something. So those are the general trends, or the settings that I would change in privacy to enable you to be a little bit less visible to the general public, which is really what you should be. A couple of final points. If you have any particular concerns about how to set up your page, then do email me or send me a Google Hangout message, and I'll happily talk you through the individual settings. And if you're particularly concerned about anyone who may have followed you and you're not sure how to block them, or you're slightly concerned that they may have contacted you or added comments to anything that you've done, then do get in touch with one of us, either a member of the sports department or, if necessary, Mr. Bancroft or Mrs. Bond from a safeguarding perspective. Hopefully this has been useful. It's important you stay safe on the roads, on the pavements, and you enjoy your training as much as possible. Thanks for watching.